Laugh out loud, it's the place to be, where geeky minds meet so naturally. From pixel legends to blockbuster heart, dive right in, let's set this vibe apart.
All right, you ready to do this?
Yeah, I'm ready. You ready?
Yeah.
Well,
wanna hear-
before we start, can I just tell you all my personal secrets and just get them all out there, because I gotta share them with somebody, and nobody's gonna hear this because this isn't recorded.
You already know Ben likes what his name rhymes with. Ben likes men.
No.
Ben likes Ken.
No.
Ben doesn't like Ben's a Ryu player.
Oh, you mean from Street Fighter? Well, yeah. I mean, I like using Ken in Street Fighter.
See,
Hey, everybody, welcome to the PM show. How's it going?
Ben like Ken. We're all fine with that.
We're
And he uses Ken when he's in his den.
okay.
Okay,
Okay, that's
yeah.
up there then. Okay. Okay.
Oh, you want me to stop when?
Stop now. It's a minute into the episode. Hi everybody. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. And welcome to the PM show.
Well, you can hit and don't like also. It's kind of the same outcome.
Yeah. Leave us some comment. Positive, negative. It works for the algorithm.
Hit don't like and then call us D-bags, and then Ben will respond to you, which is now another comment, and then you'll respond back to Ben, attacking Ben, which is now another comment, and then Ben will respond back, which will now be another comment, and that'll just knock us up on whatever leaderboard there is.
You know what I find though is, like, most of the time when you like hit somebody back on comments, they kind of just back right off. Usually, unless it's like unless you're talking about
Cowboy.
well, I was gonna say unless it's like something where they actually like really feel a certain way about something, like if it's like strong, like a religious belief or whatever, then they'll hit you back. Or if it's like something like that, if it's like a belief of theirs, they'll more likely hit you back. But usually they don't say, "Oh shit, you noticed? Oh shit, okay, back up, don't want any trouble. Don't want this guy reaching the internet and killing me now."
Don't want to wear out my keyboard.
Yep. So what do you want to start with? Arthur, I got this box here.
So yes, so Ben got a present from Santa. Santa was running a little late this year. Okay, so I'm just gonna let you know, Ben. It's not gonna be a life-changing item. It's something that I acquired that I saw that I'm like, you know what? Ben might not get any use out of this ever, but I think he's gonna see it and just think it's cool to have it.
Okay.
So
No, now what? Here's what I thought it was gonna be, because I saw the shipping label and everything. I'm like, I bet you, because Mike said he's not using my Xbox anymore. He's just gonna send it back to
I did in pieces.
me. Oh, okay. So the hard drive's in here.
Yes, that's why it's so light.
Yeah, it's
I ground them down, and it's a fine powder at this point.
I saw it because they left it at the front door, and I saw it there, and I'm like, well, that's big enough to hold the Xbox. And then I tried to pick it up, and I picked it up with enough force to pick up the Xbox, and I ended up dropping the box because I had too much force on my lip.
Okay.
I think I broke it. We'll find out in a second. I haven't opened it yet. So should I open?
Okay, so Ben's gonna now go ahead and proceed to open it
Okay.
and see what kind of present he was what I was pawning off on him.
Okay. So there's a bunch of packing around it. It looks like
There's a whole bunch of packing around it.
there's a whole bunch of packing around it. These are a bunch of books.
Yes, they are, Ben.
Oh, are these like what, your doubles?
Yes.
Ah, cool. He sent me Dr. No, On Her Majesty's Secret Service, and Thunderball from Ian Fleming. These are the original novels. Well, not the. I'm sure these are. I mean, actually, it might be first print.
These are the versions that are from the 1960s.
Okay, so these might actually be first prints.
Yeah.
First time in paperback. Actually, it says right here on Her Majesty's Secret Service. So these are first. At least one of these is the first print paperback. So these.
Yeah, they all should be. All the green ones that I have.
Yeah, because so what you had, so were these like you had these or oh, you ordered a bundle probably to make up your set that your dad gave you. That's what is that what you did?
Yeah, the bundle ended up having 3 books in it that I didn't have, so it was just an easier way to get those 3.
Oh, well,
And I was tempted to just, either give them back to my dad, the duplicates, but my dad doesn't really want them. He's not gonna read them, or donate them, and I thought, "Dude, Ben, even though he might never read them, I thought you'd think they'd just be really cool to have."
oh yeah, no, these are really, really cool. I'm actually like looking I'm thumbing through Dr. No right now. I just that's very, very cool. Thank you, dude. This is who knows? I might actually end up reading one of these. I remember when I was in high school, I used to bother my librarian to find me some James Bond books, and I don't think we had any in the Connecticut school system at the time. Because she was gonna like transfer it from another school, and or I just told her not to. As it like I forget what exactly happened, but yeah, it's very very cool. So like yeah, a lot of people don't know that they're based on books.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
know, it's not like somebody just curated this movie character at some point, you know?
Mhm. Yeah.
And they
Hey,
were
hey,
worried when they did the movies too, because they didn't know the movies were gonna be, like, up to snuff, which apparently they were.
and we do have that episode we're gonna do about authors literary works and stuff like that at the end of the month. So you may, if you get some time, poke your nose in them before then, and say, let us know what you think.
Okay. Alright. So we got some movies that we're doing today.
We got a whole bunch of movies that we're doing, and we are celebrating a lesser known holiday today. This
Yes.
is a this is a very special holiday because you call Christmas the season season of giving. This is the season of taking.
Where they take an hour away from you.
Stolen right under your nose. We are what I call zombie week. Zombie week is that first week of daylight savings where you lose the hour, but yet you still have to get up at the same time in the morning to get to work, and your brain feels like mush because of it.
Yeah, and, like, and I thought about daylight savings time last night, and I planned for it, and I thought I went to bed early, and now that I think about it, I actually went to bed the same time. No. I did go to bed early, and it would have been the same time I would normally go to bed if I didn't have something to do the following day.
Yeah.
So it was like I just screwed myself up this morning. I was like everybody else just kinda zonked out. I was like everything I was running 15 minutes late all morning, and then when I got there, at church this morning, when I got to church, they apparently were also running 15 minutes late because I got there just in time for prayer when I should have been showing up right at the end of prayer, or actually, I should have missed prayer altogether, honestly, because I was very late. But yeah, that's my cutoff time. Of like, if you don't have to be there earlier to set up whatever it is you need to do, you should be there by prayer.
Yeah.
And prayer is 45 minutes before service.
Yeah.
So it's, or actually, is it 45 minutes? We do prayer at 8:45. Yeah, 45 minutes before service, we do prayer. So, and like, if you can't be there before 45 minutes prior to, I mean, some people can't, they have a job, but if you can't do it just because you just can't get there, the world's stopping you. I mean, like, some people is like, why are you, but some people, they show up mad early. I'm going on a tangent. I'm sorry. But yeah, today's daylight savings time is the worst thing ever. I hate it. I hate the time changing thing. If there's anything that I'm very upset that it keeps getting promised that they're going to get rid of it and then they never do. This is a thing that nobody enjoys. It costs money. It's an inconvenience. It bring heart attacks are higher during this time. You think it's bad here? Over in England, they do it on a Monday, which I'm glad at least we do it on a Sunday here because at least for most of the population, it doesn't really affect them as much. But still, it's like it's for the kids. Okay, how many people are affected by having children going to school? If you do not have children going to school, you are not this should not affect you. Why don't they move the time that school starts and ends? Why don't they do
That would be
that? If we're doing it for
that
the kids,
that would be
we
that
why
would
don't
be
the
kind
kids
of
move their stuff around for us instead of us moving our stuff around for them? It's 90% of the population for 10%.
because
Why?
You still have to move your stuff around because now if they're starting an hour later, then parents have to reschedule when they're actually going to drop their kids off and pick them up. And a lot of those times, those parents are now gonna be at work, so that's just gonna make it worse.
Well, then maybe they can work something out with the place where they work, and maybe they could put a law into effect that makes it so that they have to work with them or something. I don't know. There is a solution that does not involve the rest of the world changing their effing clocks twice a year.
So instead of changing the
Whatever that solution is, that's what I want. It's just that
whatever instead of changing the clock, you're talking about changing the start and end of everything else.
no, just school. And if anyone ever gets affected by that, I will not get affected by that. You do not get affected by that. We know a lot of people who don't get affected by that. So why do we have to get affected by it at
I'm
all?
gonna ask one thing of anybody who's listening at this point. If you are a parent, set Ben straight right now.
That the whole population of the rest of the planet has to adjust their life for for somebody like I don't have kids. So why should I have to adjust my life for people who do?
Yeah.
I do already, but why should I go above and beyond where I have to change my clocks? That's ridiculous. It's asinine. It's stupid. Why did I have to change my clocks? We have to play God and change time? My God, Mike, this almost sounds like it's a lean into what we're talking about this week. I didn't realize
Yeah.
it's really me talking into what we're going to do this week.
So Ben, what are we talking about this week?
We were talking about movies. We have 6 movies for you folks,
Oh
and they
my
all
gosh, I didn't have time to watch them. Give
oh,
me a second. Let me go back in time and watch them.
you just have to remember to go and have the movies like
I'm back. I watched the movies.
eh, I didn't watch them either, but I'm gonna remember to write up summaries of all the movies later on and then leave them right here on my desk. Oh, here they are. Man, oh man, we'll get to that one. All right. So are we ready to do this? While everybody's write their angry comments about saying, Ben, why do you hate parents? It's not about that. I hate changing my clock. That's all it is. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, so today we are celebrating the wonderful holiday season of daylight savings time, like we mentioned, by subjecting ourselves to 6 movies related to time. And
It's just funny because a clock has 12 numbers and that's half of that. So
that's true. And movies are usually 2 hours long.
yeah, so that's 12 right there.
That's crazy. I didn't even think of that.
I know. This is crazy how it's all working together. It's like time is like
Yeah.
thing.
So we got to have a clock of movies today. These are the movies that we're going to talk about. And you'll notice that there's a theme through them. If we have not beaten this theme to death already, and if you can't figure out what it is, please leave a comment saying, I still don't understand.
Yes, please do.
So, the movies we're going to be talking about today are going to be Back to the Future, Groundhog Day, Edge of Tomorrow, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Timecop, and The Butterfly Effect. Now, if you haven't figured it out yet, they do have something all connected. They're all in English.
Yes.
So,
There are no Japanese movies in this group. That's what they all have in common. Oh, I don't know. Jean-Claude Van Damme, is it really in English?
it's close enough. We're gonna let that one pass.
So yes, all of these have to do with time travel in some form or another, whether it be by phone booth, DeLorean, or by staring into a book full of words.
Yes. All right. So you ready to get this going?
I am ready. I'm just gonna move my microphone. Hopefully, it doesn't disconnect. My microphone. I'm probably gonna have to buy a new one this year because the USB jack on it is just beat, absolutely beat.
You might want to go back and get it when it's cheaper.
Oh yeah, it was on sale like 2 years ago.
There you go. That's a good time to go get it.
I'll remember to do that later. And oh look, it's a brand new one. It just showed up. All
Hey,
right.
I did what I did was I just stared at the, coupons, and all of a sudden I got it.
You all of a sudden you were back at the store when the
Y
coupons were given to you.
yeah, I just saw it because I had a bloody nose afterwards.
Yeah. All right.
And you know what? I was driving home after that, after I picked it up and I turned on the radio, it's all, "And put your little hand in mine."
Well, first, let's take me away, and
First
we'll
one's up.
find that we'll be back in time. Back to the Future is a 1985 science fiction adventure film directed by Robert Zemeckis and written by Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale, starring Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd, Leah Thompson, and Crispin Glover. The film tells the story of a teenager who is accidentally set 30 years into the past by a time-traveling DeLorean invented by an eccentric scientist. The film became one of the most influential and successful films in the 1980s and spawned a trilogy. The film follows Marty McFly, who travels from 1985 to 1955 after activating a time machine created by Dr. Emmett Doc Brown. While stranded in the past, Marty unintentionally interferes with his parents' first meeting and risks erasing his own existence. With the help of the younger Doc Brown, Marty must repair the time machine by ensuring his must repair the timeline by ensuring his parents fall in love while finding a way to generate enough power to return to the future. The film blends comedy, adventure, and science fiction while exploring themes of destiny, her density, and personal change.
I gotta say something.
You are my density. What's up?
That's heavy.
What is it with the future? Is there something going on with the gravitational pull?
Alright, go for it, Ben.
I talk about how the original Star Wars movie, I at one point had to start watching it in foreign languages just so I can get some kind of newness out of it because I've watched it so much. Um, Back to the Future kinda get into that place with me. I watched it again. This time the first time I was able to watch my 4K copy, so I'm watching the 4K and I'm really looking for details. Actually, it's not the first time. The first time I watched the 4K copy is when I got it, so this is the second time. So I'm watching it looking for details, though, and I decided I'm gonna concentrate on Leah Thompson and how and just really study her performance to see if she's doing a good job or not. Let's here I am, like, I'm gonna criticize one of my favorite actresses, but actually she did a really good job, is what I thought, watching it, and she was very believable in her character, and the reason I love Leah Thompson is because of seeing her in Back to the Future. My mother had a huge crush on Michael J. Fox. That was, like, one of her celebrity crushes, so she would always bring me to go see any of his movies when they came out. So, I was not old enough for Back to the Future Part 1, but Part 2 and Part 3, I saw them both in the theater, along with The Secret of My Success and Doc Hollywood, and I don't believe there were any other Michael J. Fox movies that she brought me to at that time, but I might be wrong, and, yeah, so I've seen a lot of Michael J. Fox movies, and he's just he's good, but he's kind of always Michael J. Fox, but they kinda write the role around him knowing he's going to be Michael J. Fox. Christopher Lloyd, another one who does an amazing job. When I was growing up, I thought that Christopher Lloyd, if I ever met him in real life, would be like Doc Brown, but then I've seen him in other roles and realized he does have a bit of a range to him.
Mhm.
Uh, the one that Crispin Glover as the dad, he went and, like, he left, because he didn't like how the movie ended. So, if anybody's seen the movie, in the beginning of the movie, he's kind of like, middle management and, kinda the house is kinda dumpy, it looks like they're barely making it by, his wife's an alcoholic and all this. I talk about the dad, right?
Yeah.
And then after, Marty goes back and changes things and the dad punches out Biff, giving him this newfound confidence. You get back to present day and the house has all new furniture. Him and the wife, they're in shape and they were just playing tennis. The kids all have great jobs and all this great stuff. And Crispin Glover didn't like the message. Was one of the things that was what he was saying, but what the producers were saying was probably the more true thing. He wanted more money and they weren't willing to pay him more money. Like, you're not the star of the film, dude. We're not gonna pay you the same as Michael J. Fox. He's in 90% of the movie. You're in it for, like, 5 scenes, if that. We're not paying you that much. And I'm sure that was, like, the way they were looking at it, whether or not I don't know what the numbers were, I wasn't in the room, I don't know who's I don't I don't care, it's all in the past. Um, but yeah, so he wasn't in the 2nd and 3rd film, so they actually used scenes from this movie in the 2nd movie, and then he sued them, and it actually changed law on how actors and, the Screen Actors Guild are handled when it comes to, this type of stuff, where if they show a clip, an archive clip of you, you still get paid, and if they are using also this was the whole thing. When they were doing his makeup, they had to go and make him look, older, right? Because
Mhm.
he Crispin Glover was about the same age as Michael J. Fox. So when you see him in the 1950s in the past, that's actually him how he actually looks, and when they showed him later on, they had to put some makeup on him and make him look older. And in order to do that, they took plaster of his face. And they put plaster on your face, and then they use that to make a dummy face, and then they use that dummy face, and they use that to try out makeup stuff. So they don't have to have the actor stay in there for hours on end while they try different stuff with the makeup. So they did that. They still had it. So they took that and they used that to make a plaster mask, and then they hired a new actor, and they put it on the mask on the new actor, and that's who played the father in Back to the Future Part 2. I forget what the actor's name was, but it led to a whole lawsuit, and like I said, it changed the entire way that this stuff is handled with, actors who are either archival footage or a a plaster or a plaster mask of their face is used, that they make sure that they get some kind of compensation and also have to have some kind of word of whether it's okay. Um, so that happened. But yeah, this is like an all-time favorite movie of mine. I've seen it a million times. I believe that this is I call you Back to the Future the perfect movie because it's like a it's also from Universal Pictures, but I don't mean it this way. It's a universal favorite. Nobody hates this movie. It might not be your favorite movie, but you're never gonna go and say, "Ah, shit, Back to the Future's on. I hate this fucking film." I
I'm
haven't
sure
met
that
anybody yeah. Maybe
I'm
there's
sure
somebody.
you could check Reddit, and there's gotta be someone that has a post, "I hate Back to the Future."
Yeah, I'm the thing is, like, I've talked to people and I said, like, it made me like I said, maybe it's like, it's not my favorite film. I would prefer to watch something else, but if it's on, I'm not gonna, walk out of the room or be like, "Change the damn channel, I can't watch this," it's like it's a movie where at least people can stand it.
Yeah, I've seen it on a rerun.
You've seen it on reruns?
Yes.
It's a good one. I've seen this one.
Dude, you dropped the ball again, man.
Th
What's a rerun?
What's a rerun? No, I was leaning into it the other way though, where I'm like,
Oh,
yeah, that was yeah, him with the line, that was funny, where he's like, "Oh, yeah, that's John F. Kennedy Drive. Where the hell is John F. Kennedy?"
oh yeah.
Very, very classic lines where it's like, it's all, like, stuff that hasn't happened yet, and it's like, "Oh, and like, who's the vice president?" Oh, shoot, who did they say was the vice president? It's another actor from the same
Yeah.
time. Ronald Reagan was an actor, but it's like, yeah, it's funny. And then later in, like, later movies, where he's at the movie theater in Back to the Future Part 3, and he has to go back in time. There's 2 movie posters. One of them is for a Clint Eastwood film, and the other one is for a Ronald Reagan film, or it might be one movie poster where they're both in it. But I know that, they threw little Easter eggs in here and there about the whole, Ronald Reagan thing and later Clint Eastwood because that's the name he goes by when he goes into the West, and
Mhm.
he was Calvin Klein in the '50s. It's gr Did you ever play the video game?
No, I did not.
The game There's this point and click game from Telltale, and it is pretty much Back to the Future Part 4, but because it's a video game, they kinda let, like, a lot of stuff be more fantastic than it would have been if this was actually a made movie because, like, it's a little too science fiction-y
Mhm.
to what I think an actual live action movie version of it would have been. Or and then and that's when they have it where, like, it's an alternate reality because, what happened? Like, Biff goes back to the '30s
Mhm.
and, like, does something in the '30s, and that changes the timeline again, and it stops Doc from I a whole yeah, it's a weird thing. Oh, I think it's like it stopped Doc from creating the time machine, and he ends up falling in love with, like, some woman and becoming supreme leader of Hill Valley in some dystopian future
Hmm.
where somehow Marty McFly is so powerful, he changes the entire world history. I forget how they explain all that. Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't explain how he just doing this one thing in this one town in California changed everything in the world.
Mhm.
So how important is this town?
Oh, we'll get to that little thing being important by the end of the show.
Yeah. But yeah, it's I'm gonna wrap it up by giving it a thumbs up and just say, like, if you have not seen Back to the Future, what planet are you from? And how was your trip here?
Yeah. So Matt, basically, Matt hadn't seen Back to the Future.
Yeah, it's been a lot. Go ahead, Mike. It's all you.
Okay, so I will say this about Back to the Future. I mean, it's like Home Alone. Everybody's seen this movie. It's you have these movies from the '80s that are just so legendary. You think about it, you got like Ghostbusters, you got Goonies, you got Karate Kid, you got Back to the Future. It's like everybody knows these movies. So it's like really talking about it. It's reminiscent of the comment about the person on the Terminator 1, the person saying that we don't need to explain it. Everybody already knows this. And it's true. But I do have to say this, and I totally disagree with you on something, and I'm actually shocked because you brought all that history. I think the strongest performance in this movie is Crispin Glover. I
Oh,
think
I
he
didn't
is
say he did a bad performance.
oh, dude, he's outstanding in
Oh, no, he is outstanding. I didn't say that. I was just like I got sidetracked talking about all the whole thing with the lawsuit.
and if he asked for money, more money, dude, he deserves it for what he did in this movie because he was playing so many different directions in his personality. And you just the way that he did his character, the way he did George McFly in the 50s, you couldn't help but feel sorry for how much of a loser he was.
He got thrown out of the diner and he told him, "I never want to see you in here again." And he held him to that. It's a fucking diner, dude.
Yeah.
You can't
So
just tell some kid he can't walk into a fucking diner.
so I mean, yeah, Marty McFly, I'm sorry, Michael J. Fox is just Michael J. Fox, but he's a big name. Um, but I think everybody did a really good job in this movie. I just want to throw out Crispin Glover because he did such an exceptional job.
Yeah.
I have a problem though with this movie is that he was making not Crispin Glover, but Marty McFly was making out with his mom. His mom knows how he looks. I mean, she could probably forget over time, but wouldn't she possibly wonder, why does my kid look exactly like the dude that I made out with in the car?
Okay, so they did try to explain this to producers, and then they basically said it like this. They were like, "Okay, so there's times in your life when you'll meet somebody who's, like, around a lot for, like, maybe a week or 2, and then you never see them again. And if you're, like, a teenager going through high school, are you really gonna remember somebody that you saw in high school for, like, a couple weeks? And, yeah, it had an impact on your life, and you'll remember that, but do you remember, like if there's no picture of them, do you remember what they
Yeah,
look like, really?
yeah, yeah, I understand that. I don't know, but it just
But the thing is, like, your kid was at the Marty at the time was, like, what, 15? So, he went back 30 years, so that means it's been 15 so when he was born, it's been 15 years since they last saw him, and that sounds weird. Uh So, yeah, I mean, in 15 years, they might forget, like, exactly what the guy looked like, but then they're not gonna know what their baby they're not gonna they can't compare the baby to their child, and then they see the child every single day. When you see people every day and, like, say, like, you got a friend at work that you see all the time and they're on a weight loss journey,
mhm,
you don't notice that they're on a weight loss journey
that's true.
until they show you a picture of what they look like last year.
Yeah, that's true.
So because you see this kid all the time, he's your kid. You don't really think, "Oh, geez, our kid really looks like that guy that hung out with us for 2 weeks, 30 years."
Rather than jam my tongue down his throat. Jeez. All right, but I gotta go on here. There's a couple of cool things that I noticed watching this. I don't know if you were aware of this or not, but there's a scene where they're auditioning for like the whatever it is, the dance or whatever they're doing,
Yep.
and they're playing the Huey Lewis the News song. I don't know if you know this, but the guy that stands up and announces they're too loud is Huey Lewis.
Mike,
Yeah.
I hate to break this to you, but that is that Super Mario Brothers 2 in the US is different than the Japanese one level of a
Okay.
lot. But,
I don't know. I didn't know if everyone knew that or not. I know
yeah,
a lot of people did.
that's
I didn't know.
like one of the first things people throw out there. But yes,
Okay. The other
but in
thing
the
I
interest,
noticed.
if somebody would bring it up in the comments if we didn't say it. Yes, Huey Lewis is the guy who tells them you guys are playing too loud.
There's another thing that I caught that I never really caught in this before is that it actually foreshadows the next two movies in the beginning, because I didn't catch that Doc Brown mentioned that he could go back in time with all the baseball scores or baseball winners. And if you think about it, that's exactly what Biff did in the second movie.
Mm.
When he gets the almanac to go back in time to make his fortune. The other thing is when I guess it was the Libyans, was it?
Yep.
Come and he pulls out a handgun, a revolver. Is just very reminiscent of a Western style revolver.
Yeah, he mentions it in either the first movie or second movie. Doc Brown talks about if he had a chance to go back in time, he would go back to the Old West.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
so he does
mentions
mention in the first one.
so, okay, so what's nice about the trilogy is, I mean, I'm sure if I went through with a fine tooth comb, I could find loose ends that aren't tied up in this thing, but for the most part, every loose end's kinda tied up. It's a like, all this every story is complete. They fill in all the blanks, and everything has the same feel to it. It's not like when sometimes, like later this year, we're gonna be talking about the actually, it might be later this month, we're gonna be talking about the Chronicles of Narnia, and in that one it's been a while since I watched all 3 of them, but I think, like, one of them doesn't it doesn't feel like a proper sequel, like, it's just has a different feel to it. Is that am I right on feeling remembering this?
Well, uh, we can talk about that when we get to Chronicles of Narnia. There's
Okay, well, there's been other series where, like, part 2 or maybe part 3 feels like it's a movie out of a different series. It just
it's
doesn't have
not though. Well, it is, but it's not. Um,
okay,
and
well, I'm off of Chronicles of Narnia, I'm just talking about in general. There's times when there's, like, a movie series where one of the movies doesn't it feels a little out of place. Like, let's pick on Halloween then. Halloween 3: The Season of the Witch. It's the only one that doesn't have Michael Myers in it. And that's a little extreme to what I'm talking about here, but the fact is that Back to the Future doesn't have that issue. Every single one of the Back to the Future movies feels like it belongs.
yeah,
Everything is uniform, whatever the coloring's the same, the style is the same, the writing, the everything, the beats are the same. You literally can watch and I actually do have a supercut somewhere on one of my hard drives of Back to the Futures 1, 2, and 3 all as one movie. And you could sit there and watch them all as one movie, and if edited correctly, you won't even know where one ends and the next one begins. So, that's one of the things I really liked about the Back to the Future series is that how it was handled. Whether or not 2 or I mean, you get people have discussions of what's better, 2 or 3. People don't like Westerns, they like the hoverboard. I think 3, as I'm older now, is better, but when I was younger, I thought 2 was
I've only seen 3 like once, to be honest.
I think you would prefer 3 now that you're older because I think it holds up better because 2, they were predicting a future we've already lived through, and none of that happened other than, the Miami baseball team winning or other than the Cubs winning the World Series. None of that happened. And the Miami getting a baseball team. Uh, then, where at least in the Western one, it's more accurate to what actually happened in the old one.
Well, I just think Western stuff in general is poo poo. So, you know.
Westerns, if they're done correctly, sometimes are way overdrawn where and also, like, if you yeah, I mean, my grandfather was a fan of John Wayne, and I'm like, I couldn't stand it. I'd sit there and watch a John Wayne movie with him, and I'm like, "Grandpa, can we put a race on or something?" 'Cause he liked auto racing too. "Can we just watch a race?" But yeah.
So I'm gonna jump in here. I just want to mention one other thing that I think is a problem is that the song that was chosen for him to play, um,
Honestly
it's
good.
yes, it's actually broadcast to Chuck Berry, who from his brother. I would think his brother would be like, "Hey, this sounds
His cousin.
like or cousin. I'm sorry, cousin. Yes, like, hey,
Legendary.
good. You know." So that's my. But we got to move on because we started this about 20 minutes ago. We're on the same movie. If we're doing this, this is gonna be like our longest episode ever.
I know.
So,
Well, it's
so
because it's Back to the Future. This was like the Back to the Future, we literally could do a whole episode on Back to the Future, and we'd have to do all 3 of them, but we could if we wanted to, and who knows, maybe 5 years from now we will. Watch 5 years from now, we do it, and I could play this tape back and say, "See, Mike, I told you."
or 5 years ago we did it, and we're
Ooh,
just gonna have it up soon. Who knows?
yeah.
Anyway, I'm giving it a thumbs up. If you guys didn't know, it's kind of obvious this was gonna get 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, I if I had to go and make, like, a top 10 list of movies of all time, this would be one of the ones I would not have an issue putting on the list. There'd be a lot of them I would have issues, but this would not be one of them.
All
Alright,
right, you ready for the next one?
I am ready for the next one.
And the next one is now up.
Groundhog Day is a 1993 fantasy comedy film directed by Harold Ramis, starring Bill Murray and Andy McDowell. The film tells the story of a cynical television weatherman who became trapped in a time loop, forcing him to relive the same day over and over. The film has become widely regarded as one of the greatest comedy films ever made and has influenced numerous later time loop stories. The plot follows Phil Connors, a Pittsburgh weatherman assigned to cover the annual Groundhog Day festival in Puxatawny, Pennsylvania. I have trouble with all these Japanese names, and I got that one. After an unpleasant assignment, Phil wakes up the next morning to discover that February 2nd keeps repeating endlessly. Initially using the loop for selfish pleasures and reckless behavior, Phil eventually grows weary of his reputation. Oh, of the repetition. I'm sorry, I'm reading this wrong. He grows weary of the repetition. Over time, he begins to improve himself, learning new skills and performing acts of kindness, ultimately transforming his outlook on life and relationships. Mike, this one I believe is yours.
This one is mine. Okay, so before I say anything, I'm just gonna preface this with I love this movie. It's a good movie. It's a really good movie.
I liked all the movies this week.
Yeah.
I'm about to just get that out there. They all get a thumbs up this week. Some are
So
better than others, but go ahead.
after saying that though, this movie has been put at like this legendary status. And personally, I don't think it up there as a legendary status. It's really, really good. But I think over time, just like him waking up every morning, like, oh my gosh, it's the same day. Oh my gosh, it's the same movie. And I think this is one of those movies that may be just a little overplayed. It's another one that just like Home Alone, Back to the Future, everybody knows this movie.
Even if you've never seen it, you know of the movie, you understand the premise of the movie. Yeah.
Yes. And I think the main problem with it is even with Bill Murray, I don't think it has that great of acting in it. I think Bill Murray comes off a little bit flat in this. Um, and it was Andy McDowell, I believe. It just she's one of those people that I don't see as like a heartthrob type of person. Um, I could see her being a stockbroker rather than being like a romantic relation with somebody. Um, I kind of wish that it was in Chris Elliott was the other one.
Mhm.
I wish they would have explored his character a little bit more because he's just kind of like put in there just because. I think they undercooked that character a whole lot. But it's still a good movie. I always wondered like what would happen if he were to like put himself on one of those reckless paths. Like he decided to chop his arms off just to see how it works, and then wakes up and finds out, oh crap, it is now February 3rd. So, but I mean, yeah. So I'd recommend watching it if you haven't seen it, which you have. There's no way you have not seen this movie,
Over and
but
over again,
over and over again.
the same
Yeah,
repeated day. Yes.
yeah. But it's a good movie. I definitely give this a thumbs up. Um, I just kind of feel like it's been done better. Now, this was the one that kind of started this whole thing. So I give it credit for that. But I think as it went along, like for instance, Happy Death Day.
Yeah.
I think Happy Death Day did this a lot better than Groundhog Day did.
Well, somebody has to invent the wheel before you can make a better wheel.
Exactly.
So
And
the
and and it comes down to, and if you're comparing Groundhog Day to Happy Death Day, it really comes down to the acting of the main character. The lady in Happy Death Day was phenomenal. Bill Murray in this, he's Bill Murray, and he feels like just a flat Bill Murray.
yeah.
So that's all I'm gonna say with this one. So with that, still a thumbs up. You got it, Ben.
So this movie is, yeah, like you were saying, like, it's kinda like the groundwork for a lot of other films, including the one we're gonna be doing right after this one, and it's the idea of your day repeating over and over and over again. It's actually become almost part of the lexicon where, like, instead of saying, I'm feeling like I got deja vu," if you're just having the same day over and over again, you feel like I'm on Groundhog Day, and,
Mhm,
um, I've actually I mean, it doesn't happen every day or people say that, but I've heard it referenced. It's, um it's a good movie. I do understand what you're saying about Bill Murray's not one of my favorite actors. I'll just put that out there. I don't think some people, they love him, and, "Oh, Bill Murray," I mean, like, he picks good movies to be in. If anything, he had a good agent. Uh, uh, Annie McDowell, I actually thought that her character kinda worked in this because, she's the opposite of him.
mhm.
He's like the city guy who's a real asshole, and she's, like, real kinda country, down to earth type of person. I thought that she did a great job. Chris Elliott, every time I see him, I think of him on that show Get a Life. You wanna talk about TV shows that were forgotten and you can't find anywhere? Get a Life is one of them where he plays, a 30-something-year-old paper boy who's living at home, and his parents hate him, and everybody hates him, but he's an idiot. It's I don't remember if it was good or not. He was also in Cabin Boy, which is a okay movie. It's the only time that David Letterman has ever done a cameo in a movie, I think, or at least up until that point. I think he might have done a cameo since then. Um, so you got that. David Letterman loves Chris Elliott. If you ever watch back the old Late Night with David Letterman, he uses Chris Elliott, like, not all the time, but every once in a while when he needed somebody, Chris Elliott would be probably the somebody he would bring in. So he's got a level of talent there, and I think he does a good job here. And I do agree with you that I wish we like when Phil was asking him those questions, like, "Do you have a family? Do you have kids?" Like, I actually was kind of wondering if his character actually had a family and had kids. I'm like, can we follow this conversation as it goes on so we can learn about this guy? Um, the, what would you do if you had the day to repeat and you knew that you would just wake up and have the same day again? It follows that question, and it's so interesting because it's like, what would you do? Would you do the same thing he did where at first you kinda get selfish about it and then, like, you're keeping track of what people like so that you could sleep with them and, all this other stuff? Or would you find out what the lotto numbers were and make sure that you won every day? Or, or just in case the day continued on, you can have the money in the morning. Um, and he ends up living this day over and over and over again, and the producers said that he lived it was years.
Yeah, it had to be because look at his piano playing going from nothing to ultra pro.
Yeah, he was there for years, and you always have he had unlimited money pretty much because who cares if he spends all his money today, it's just gonna repeat tomorrow.
No.
Plus, he probably has a bank account someplace with some extra money in it if it didn't repeat tomorrow, but, because I think he goes to the homeless guy and he gives him all the money, and then he becomes obsessed with saving the homeless guy's life. I forgot about this.
Yeah, that was a really good part. I mean, it showed that even no matter how often you could do something, there's just some outcomes that are going to be that outcome.
Yes. What was the saying from Star Trek: The Next Generation, where Data, he kept trying to play this game and he kept losing, and Captain Picard goes and says, like, "Sometimes you can do everything perfectly right and still lose."
Mhm. Yeah.
So, it's the same lesson here. But yeah, and then he becomes obsessed with Rita, and who was Andy McDowell's character, and you can like I said, she's the polar opposite, and it's the whole thing of opposites attract. You get some like the husband's very boisterous and the girl's very quiet, or that type of thing. Because this way, like, they don't overshadow each other. Once in a while, you meet them where both of them are loud as hell and they're both annoying. Uh, let's see here. I'm trying to think of more thoughts on this. It's a great film. It's worth watching if you've never seen Groundhog Day. I don't know why you haven't. It's it just, like Mike said, Bill Murray, he's I personally, it's not that I groan when I see these in a movie. I just kinda like, "Okay, I hope there's somebody else in it that."
Yeah. I want to mention one more thing about Groundhog Day, and this is aftermath. That relationship is doomed. And there's a reason why. He had to go day by day trying line after line on what's going to get her attention. Now he has no safety net because he is now going forward in time. So he's bound to say something that's going to screw that relationship up.
Also, is he ever gonna tell her about the whole thing?
Probably not. Are you really going to be like, yeah, I repeated the same day and nailed every chick in that city?
How did you know everybody's secrets? I, slept with all of them, including the men, including the men.
Yeah. That's why he dropped the toaster in the bathtub when he realized what he did.
He slept with the groundhog. He slept with everybody and everything in that town. The old lady who kept asking him if he had a good morning, if he slept well, is like, "Well, actually, I'm still a little tired if you wanna come tuck me in."
Oh, I haven't tried this exhaust pipe.
He's doing the cars now. Okay.
Yeah. He's got time.
And, he ends up having, like, the perfect day at the end, where he saves a kid from falling out of a tree. He has a piano lesson, which he doesn't really need the piano lesson at this point, but he still goes to the piano lesson so she can claim that she's the teacher. Would he go in like for 5 minutes, pretend he doesn't know how to play, and then she says something like, "Oh my god, that just clicked in my head. Look, I know how to play everything now."
I love that scene where like the teacher goes in, grabs the girl, and just like pushes her out.
The poor kid. He's like,
That poor kid. She did a great job on that whole like confusion look.
yeah. He was like, "They just threw me out of my piano lesson. What the
Yeah.
what?" Dude, he comes in like, "I got $1,000." He's like, "Ah,
Yeah.
you can come in now." It's
Exactly.
like, "For $1,000? Get out of here, Sally. We'll see you tomorrow. I'll give you a makeup lesson, I promise."
All right.
Alright.
So we were ready to move on to the next one.
Yes.
Okay, let me get that one up
Yeah, I'm
and go.
gonna take a sip real quick.
Okay. And don't go.
And don't go. Edge of Tomorrow is a 2014 science fiction action film directed by Doug Liman, starring Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt. The film is based on the Japanese novel All You Need Is Kill by Hiroshi Sakar, Sak, Sakurazaka,
Keep going.
blending military science fiction with a time looping narrative. The film was praised for its innovative action sequences and performances of the leads. The film follows Major William Cage, a public relations officer with no combat experience, who is forced into battle against an alien invasion known as the Mimics. During the fight, Cage becomes trapped in a time loop that causes him to relive the same day each time he dies. With the help of veteran soldier Oh god. Rita, we'll just call her Rita. He who previously experienced a similar phenomenon, he gradually improves his combat skills and searches for a way to break the cycle while identifying the alien intelligence controlling the invasion. This is me, right?
This is you.
This was okay, I've never seen this movie before. This movie was really good. I enjoyed it. I had a I didn't think I was going to. Actually, I misunderstood the premise when I was going into it. I thought all the soldiers would repeat the day, and that was the idea that like some kind of thing, like a military experiment of like a super soldier that could travel through time or something to help to help an unbeatable battle. Like they'll just keep trying it over and over again till they get it.
Mhm,
No, it was just one person who has this, and the way that they explain it, they explained it perfectly,
mhm.
which I'm so happy about. It wasn't just this is happening because of Twilight Zone. It's just happening because he had some of the alien blood got on him. It got into his system, and he's infected with something. He's infected with the mimic disease or whatever they called it. And explaining that if you get a blood transfusion, that takes the effect away. The fact that he was able to feel it, I loved all the explanations. Was great. it got a little boring in the beginning when they literally had him reliving it moment for moment, every single thing, and I'm like, "Can we get to this thing where they speed it up and they just show highlights of stuff that he changed during the time?" And they finally get to that, and that's when the movie really, really got good. They have him where he's training and he's falling in love with Emily Blunt's character, but she's always being reintroduced to them, so she doesn't know. So, I mean, it's the same thing that happened in Groundhog Day where, like, how come they're in love at the end when she only knew him for a day no matter what he knows about her? You can never, like, get a girl to just fall in love with you over one day unless there's something wrong with her. Uh, Same thing kinda happens here, but then it doesn't happen because he doesn't go yeah, at the end of it was the best because he went and kinda, like, acknowledged that all this happened, but let everything be
Yeah.
and put it in his past. Um Yeah, it's a great movie. This was fun to watch. What the premise is easy to get a hold of. You can hold on to you really you get it easy. It's like if Groundhog Day was in the army and they were fighting the thing from Tremors,
Mhm.
that's kind of what Edge of Tomorrow is.
Yeah.
So thumbs up from me. Go ahead.
Okay, so and I said this before, there's movies that I remember going to see in the theater. I'll never forget, like, where I sat, who I was with, the experience I had there, and Edge of Tomorrow is actually one of those movies. When I went to go see it in the theater, I was interested because of the fact that I am interested in a lot of things that deal with time manipulation and different directions of reality and, different dimensions and things like that. So, this is when I'm like, I gotta see this. I gotta see what it's like, but I didn't expect it to be any good. I thought it was gonna be, like, decent. And I walked out of there just like, wow, this was outstanding. This is what I would say Groundhog Day basically worked up to.
Mm,
Because this did something that was really it's a couple things that were really interesting with it. One is they put that character in there, Rita, where she throws out the line, you know, "Come to me when you wake up," or whatever the line was. And it implies that you realize he's not the first that had this power.
yeah.
She had this power. So it's something that's going back and forth between the two in this battle, and each one is trying to get it back where the humans don't really know that this powers exist. So when they get it, it's like a gift, but then the enemies are fighting to get it back because they realize they're losing and they don't have it. So it makes it very interesting that you have somebody now that's kind of like a mentor for this type of situation.
It's a mentor that every single day you have to re-explain who you are and prove that you are who you are, or they'll
Yeah.
kill you.
I'm not a Tom Cruise character, but I also love his character in this movie, especially the beginning where he's the voice for enlisting. And then you get to the point where they're like, okay, well, we're gonna send you down so you can be, I believe it's filming it. He's like, nope, I don't want to be on the front lines. I get people to enlist so that I don't have to be there.
Yeah,
And I thought that
he starts off as a complete weasel and becomes a hero by the end of the movie.
Yeah, and I loved how they did that with his character because it makes you not like him.
Yeah.
And you don't feel sorry for him in this situation.
But it's like the same thing as in Groundhog Day. In the beginning of the movie, you don't Bill Murray's character is a complete asshole, and as the movie it progresses, he becomes a better person.
True.
So
That's
this
true.
it follows the character development is
But
identical pretty much.
Bill Murray's just one because he is one. This character is one because that's what he does. That's his job. And now he's getting thrown into a position he doesn't want to be in. And I think that's great what they did to him. Another thing that I really liked about this movie was the point where they get to that one point where he tells Rita, he's like, basically, you can't go any further because it's been played out so many times. No matter what happens, she dies. And I like that because now you don't have a solution to the problem the way you're going at it. So now you have to change everything he does. And she was really the help for him, and he's got to cut that loose. And I really like that they did that.
They mess with the audience expectations where they go out there and they find the helicopter, and you think that is the first time that he's been there because we're with you. We're with him as the audience, so this has gotta be the first time.
Yeah.
And then she puts together and if you actually look at how he's talking, you could I kinda got the suspicion while watching it, like, this isn't the first time he's been here. And as soon as she said it, I'm like, "Yeah, this is not the first time he's been here."
Yeah. The other thing that I like is that they did take away his power at the worst time possible.
Yeah.
And that made it good because now, unlike Groundhog Day, where he just keeps repeating and then, oh, he got it right. Perfect. We'll move on. This character's screwed because he doesn't know what's going to happen. It's going to be the first time. And if they fail, it's over. It brings a lot more tension to the table for that ending part. And I really like that it did that.
Mm.
So, so I'm definitely, I give this one a thumbs up, a higher thumbs up than I give Groundhog Day. Groundhog Day is a necessary watch. Edge of Tomorrow is just a wonderful watch.
Groundhog Day is Metroid, Edge of Tomorrow is Super Metroid.
Exactly. That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
So,
And it's like, yeah, same premise, kind of. I mean, one he repeats the same day, and this one he has to die, but
I mean, if you watch like the ads for it, you're not, you feel like it's probably not going to be that great of a movie, but it is.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Very good movie, and, it's an excellent movie, bro. It's like
yeah.
very excellent. It's like the greatest, dude.
Oh, we gotta go to the next movie, right? Oh,
Yeah, dude, I'll remember to go back in time and prepare something for you to put on for this movie, and there it is, you should have it.
are you ready for it?
What if they forgot to do all the stuff that they were supposed to be doing in the future?
That's why don't we get to that when we get to it,
Okay.
the movie? You ready for it?
Yep.
Here it comes.
Bill and
Or
Ted's Excellent Adventures, a 1989 science fiction comedy film directed by Stephen Herrick and starring Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter. The film follows two dim-witted but well-meaning high school students who travel through time to assemble historical figures for a school presentation, brah. The film blends teen comedy with science fiction concepts and became a cult favorite, brother. Launching a franchise that includes sequels, an animated series, and comic books, and a really bad video game. The story centers around Bill S. Preston, Esquire, and Ted Theodore Logan, whose history class project determines whether Ted will pass school and avoid being sent to military school. A visitor from the future named Rufus provides them with a time traveling phone booth, allowing them to gather famous historical excellent figures from as at Socrates, Napoleon Bonaparte, Joan of Arc, and Abraham Lincoln. Their chaotic journey through time ultimately finds them deliver a memorable and most excellent presentation while preserving the future society that idolizes their band, the Wild Stallions. It's so excellent. Go ahead.
all right. So this is yet another movie that I will never forget going to see in the theater. And I went to see it with my friend. And I remember that we got out of the theater. We were watching it at a mall, and we got out of the theater, and his parents were the ones that took us there, and we met up with them, and we were trying to explain the movie to them, but we forgot Sigmund Freud's name. So we called him like you were like, yeah, it had Abraham Lincoln, Billy the Kid, Joan of Arc, and the gray guy.
Socrates, this is Socrates. I even said it the way they said it too.
So crazy.
Socrates.
So, but this is okay. So you look at all of these type of, you got Wayne's World, you got Beavis and Butthead, where it's that theme, but neither of them. They're big, they're famous, they're great, but they're not as iconic as Bill and Ted.
Yeah.
And they'll never. And I don't know if there's ever going to be a duo like this that's these airhead rocker guys that are ever going to match up with Bill and Ted. And
I remember when Bill and Ted was big and it came out in like as a 1989. Wow. So 1989, the Nintendo Entertainment System still hot on fire. The Game Genie comes out. "Oh, we got the game genie, bro. Oh, I can add multiple levels. I can get unlimited lives, bro." And, like, you're watching this commercial and you're like, "They just ripped off Bill and Ted."
Yeah. Yeah. And even now, like my nephew, um, he is like 18 now. So he wasn't alive when Bill and Ted came out, but he knows Bill and Ted. And there was I guess a time there was a pizza delivery from Ted's Pizza. And he was probably like, I don't know, 4 years old. He's all, Ted, is Bill there as well too? I mean, that's how iconic these characters are.
Yeah.
Um, the and I'll be honest, I like the second movie better than I like the first one, but I really like the first one enough to where I'm definitely, this is obviously getting a thumbs up. There's no way this is not getting a thumbs up. Uh, there's a couple problems though that should be addressed, and we talked about. You mentioned it already with the trash can. Where it's like trash can. Remember a trash can? They're like, what are you talking about? A trash can appears falling from the ceiling. How did it fall?
Yeah, I always thought even, like, when I was a kid, I thought they were great that they would do that, but, like, looking now as an adult watching it, I'm like, "Oh, you gotta remember to do all this stuff now, and how are you going to get into the police station and put a tape of you talking in the police station? How are you going to perform that activity? How is that going to happen? I know that you are the police chief's son or whatever, but that doesn't mean that you can just willy-nilly walk around the police department."
And but it's the trash can that gets me, and it gets even
Yeah,
worse with the second one where it's where Denomalous is like, I'll just remember to get this gun, and a gun materializes in his hand. How is that even possible?
yeah, no,
It doesn't make any sense. Um, and then the other thing that really gets me in this movie
yep.
is, what were you gonna say something?
Oh, I was gonna say, like, with the whole thing with them telling, like, "I wanna go and just make sure we do this so that we have this gun," or whatever, that whole trope, it
Yeah.
really feels like the old Batman series where no matter what they needed to get out of whatever thing that they were stuck in, it was on Batman's, like, utility belt.
Yes.
That
Exactly.
whatever we need right now on my Bat utility belt, like,
Exactly.
it's the same syndrome where it's like, we have to figure it's lazy writing in almost a way.
Mhm. Yeah.
If you did it once and never did it again, okay. But then you start relying on it to move the story along.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead, I'm sorry.
No no problem. The other thing that gets me in this movie is, "Howdy, I'm Billy the Kid," and then all the kids are laughing. He pulls out his gun and fires a shot in the school, and there is no way that the people would just be, like, totally calm after that and put their hands together. Dude, everyone would panic, and they would get an F on the report right then and there.
Yeah.
So, and, that part gets to me, but, I mean, dude, it's Bill and Ted. There's just, like, no way to not love this movie and not love these characters because they're just so well done, and so dumb they are,
Yeah.
that you just can't help to love them and laugh at the movie.
Yeah, no, it's the fun movie to watch. It's entertaining, it's funny, and it's just yeah, if you gotta get over the fact that they're gonna just do some lazy writing towards the end of it. At least they wait till the end.
Mhm.
Isn't the whole movie. I think isn't in the sequel that they depend on that trope a lot more.
At the end, they do the gun and they do the key.
As long as they do it, like, closer to the end, it's not as bad, which they might have the writers might have noticed that, like, "This is kinda cheap, we can't really do this as a whole goddamn movie, but
Yeah.
alright, made it.
Yes.
Let's just throw it at the end." By that point, we already have their money. Uh,
Yeah, exactly. But go ahead. It's all yours now.
um, I thought I already talked about it.
Okay, so I guess we were talking about.
Oh,
This is
I
kind
think,
of
right?
you and I talking
I
about the same
did send
time.
it tomorrow, and I talked about did I talk about Bill and Ted?
No, I started. Oh no, did you? No, no, I started Bill and Ted.
Oh, I went over the synopsis. I remember saying something about it. Okay. Same thing, dude. I did not see this in the theater like you did. I think I saw this on videotape. I think we rented it. But I thought it was funny. Um, it's something like it falls into the same category as like a Beavis and Butthead type of thing where it's stupid humor. It's more about the characters than it is the story. You'll end up liking Bill and Ted. The story itself is really not important. It's like they're getting these characters over, is to use a wrestling term, and they do. Bill and Ted, at the end of it, you love the characters, and you don't remember everything that happened in the movie. You just remember the parts you liked.
Yeah.
You know, go through, it's like, "Well, geez, this part didn't make any sense, and what's this plot hole over here?" And no, you know, they're there, but you don't care. George Carlin is in it. He's the one who's Rufus, gives him the time machine. He's great. It's always good to see George Carlin and stuff. Um, and it just like the future is so weird. Like they become like the symbols of the future. These two idiots say to the world through their music.
Yeah.
The the premise alone is ridiculous. So you're gonna throw everything out. Just say, you know what? Let's just have fun and let's laugh when it's funny and it's and not take it seriously. And you look at like how Abraham Lincoln acts when he goes like, "Party on, dudes!" Like yeah, like even the historical characters of like Socrates, they call him Socrates. Napoleon Bonaparte is like they have him like his little was it Bill or Ted's one of their little brothers is taking care of him, and Napoleon's kind of having his own adventure through modern day at the time America. Uh, Joan of Arc ends up running an aerobics class. It's some ridiculous stuff in this, and I can understand why they tried to make a TV show out of it, but I could also understand why the TV show probably didn't work.
Yeah.
I think the game's awful. If you wanna watch Angry Video Game Nerd talk about it, it's an awful, awful game. It's one of those where, like, the controls are messed up, the rules are not very well defined, you spend most of the game trying to figure out what it is you're supposed to do, which are never fun.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
There's a couple things I did want to mention that kind of bugged me about it is the winding the watch because he failed to wind the watch. So why is he reminding himself to wind the watch if he knows he's already not going to wind the watch? That kind of bugs me. But also on that same note is that time still continues even though they're doing this. So what? They went back in time to the night before. So if they miss it, why can't they just go back and go to the time where it happens again, even though they missed it and actually do it?
Because if they did that, the movie would be 8 hours long because these guys are idiots, so they have to do something.
Let's just get it done.
I That's a weird time rule that they have there. It makes it kinda unique for all the movies we're doing today, that this is the one that has that weird thing where time still moves forward for your current timeline, even though you can go to other timelines, including future timelines and set up garbage cans on the ceiling and
Yep.
tape recorders.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, like you, thumbs up. I recommend the movie. I haven't seen any of these in a long time, so there's a lot of stuff. I like you're saying Bogus Journey is better. I don't remember much about Bogus Journey.
Yeah, I'm kind of a rare opinion on that one because most people don't like Bogus Journey as much. I just liked it because it goes in kind of a different direction, a very different direction.
And then there's like a new one that I haven't even seen yet. Face the
I
Music.
saw it and I saw it and honestly I saw it once and I don't think I'm gonna watch it again. I don't
Uh,
think it was all that good.
well, that is Bill and Ted's Most Excellent Adventure, guys. I hope you understand. What's that?
Ready for the next one?
I am ready for the next one, brah. So hit like and subscribe, man.
And it's up.
Timecop is a 1994 science fiction action film directed by Peter Hyams. Oh, jeez. Why can't I get these good names? And starring Jean-Claude Van Damme, Ron Silver, and Mia Sara. The film is loosely based on a comic book by Mark Byrne-Hayden and Mike Richardson. It combines time travel concepts with action thriller elements and became one of Van Damme's most commercially successful films. The film takes place in a future where time travel exists but is strictly regulated by the Time Enforcement Commission, an agency responsible for preventing criminals from alternating historical events for personal gain. Officer Max Walker discovers that corrupt politicians are using time travel to manipulate financial markets and consolidate power. As Walker pursues the conspiracy across different time periods, he must also confront personal tragedies from his own past while trying to stop a plot that could reshape history. I'd never seen Timecop before. I've seen reviews of it from, like, some channels like the Nostalgia Critic and others, and so I did go in kinda knowing what the movie was gonna be about. I actually really enjoyed this film. I didn't expect it that I would like it. I thought it would just be like, "Oh, it's gonna be some stupid thing with Jean-Claude Van Damme. I'll keep looking at the clock, wondering when it's gonna be done." But I was watching it, and you have trouble understanding him, and some of his one-liners are kinda but, for what it is though, it's like it's a cheap action film. It's cheesy, but it's like if you which I don't mind. I like cheesy action films. I like Arnold Schwarzenegger movies where he kills a bunch of people and has a one-liner after. I love that. So like it's in that vein, and it's just a lot of fun. He's traveling through time. Um, it was so there's a guy running for president. He's a senator and he wants to be president, and he has access to the original, like, prototype time machine, while the agency has the updated, newer version of it, and they forgot that the prototype existed, and he was using the prototype to go back in time. I'm sorry if I just ruined part of the movie for you, but it's a 30-year-old movie. Uh, so, it's yeah, it was a good movie. It's what you expect it to be going into Jean-Claude Van Damme. You're not gonna get top ring action or top you're not gonna get the top of the line acting in this. This is not a Academy Award winning film of any sorts. But if you're looking for a fun action movie with some time elements to it, where you could see Jean-Claude Van Damme do a split while fighting somebody, and that does happen in this.
Yeah.
So thumbs up.
Okay. All right. So Time Cop. I have a laundry list of problems with this movie. Um,
Did you
I,
take it
I'm
too
gonna say
seriously?
I'm gonna say out of all of the movies that we're gonna talk about, this one handled time travel and time manipulation the worst. But it did some fun stuff with it. Like I really love the scene where you have the soldiers from the Confederate coming up and the guy just like, nope, just give me your gold. And you can just you're like, okay, you know he's gonna pull out something here because you're thinking those super old, muskets that they had back then, loading those up, getting one shot. He's gonna pull out something that's fully automatic, and sure enough, he does. And it's like the future versus the past, it doesn't stand a chance. Um, the list of issues that I have here, let's talk about first off when everything goes wrong and he returns back and is now under the name of the senator. He just returns back good like, "Oh, hey, welcome back." They're not like, "What were you doing? What was your mission this time?" Because time's changing. So he's gonna return back to a time that's not really the same time, especially that one, and people aren't questioning it.
Well,
It's
what if they know that though? They know that he might be coming from a slightly altered timeline than they're currently in, so they kinda just know that if he seems a little weird, it's because something to do with the time thing.
well, yeah, and it's just like they're just like, "Whatever, welcome back."
Yeah.
That did work well with me. The other thing that didn't work well another one that didn't work well with me is the ending where the younger senator comes over, he's like, "Well, you called me. How is it possible that someone's gonna take Jean-Claude Van Damme's voice and mistake it for their own?" I don't understand that one.
Well, he could have been like, "Hello, I am, the senator's assistant, and, I am calling because, the president just said that he needed to come and"
I still think you're trying to be like a more Arnold Schwarzenegger style at that point.
"I
The
told you to come."
another problem that I have with this is where he meets his wife in the mall and, it's a future version. It doesn't that whole scene just feels uncomfortable. But I also wonder if he's like if he was thinking like, "You know what? It's my wife. She knows she's my wife
"It's my wife.
from the future. Do
My
can I
wife from the
snag it?
future."
Snag it?" But and also, I think that was a lady from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, am I right? You played the role?
What was your name?
I don't know.
Yeah, something? Hold on, let me pull that up. I'm not in that window right now. Mia Sara. Let me take a look here. Mia Sara. She does look like she is the woman from that. She was in
Yes, sorry.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off. She was Sloane. Yep. So it is the girl from Ferris Bueller. So she's the
She
biggest star in the movie.
she sucks. I don't know if it's the director's fault or her, but she just sucks in this movie.
Dude, at one point she was Sean Connery's daughter-in-law.
Like for real?
Yeah, she married,
Okay.
Jason Connery, Sean Connery's son. They divorced in 2002.
Every scene that she's in is I just feel is ruined.
And she had a son with Brian Henson, son of Jim Henson. She's just going through all the firstborns, huh?
There you go. So but with saying oh, and another thing I want to say is that the part where he gets in the car, especially at the beginning, he's all it's like, "Where to?" And he's like, "Home," and it takes him home, and he's not driving. I'm sitting there going like, "I hope the future never has those. I hope the future never has self-driving cars."
You don't want a Johnny cab?
I do not want a Johnny cab, no.
Welcome to Johnny cab.
But so I said all this, but the movie's still fun. It's a
Shouldn't be, dude. You can't take it too seriously. I got a lot of the same problems you do if I went into it looking to take this seriously, but I'm like,
exactly, and that's the thing.
he's like,
You can't seriously. It's like Bill and Ted with guns.
yeah,
Minus the Ted.
yeah.
You know, it's so going into that. I'm going to give this movie a thumbs up. It's not a strong one because of my problems, but it's still a thumbs up because I would watch it. I enjoy watching it. I just have problems with it because I overthink things.
Mm.
So, and that's kind of my board game style where it's like I like to analyze the rules and make sure they work together. And I'm one of those people that are like, well, what about in this situation? Like I did a expansion myself to a game where I included like rules for a certain character, and I had to have this big long laundry list of if this card comes up, this is how it needs to be handled. If this card comes up, this is how this one needs to be handled. So it was just a massive list, but that's me because I overthink like every single little possibility, and Timecop doesn't really do that. So if as long as you're going into it just saying, okay, it's just an action film that you don't really have to overthink, you're gonna be totally fine.
Yeah, it's pretty much the opposite with their handling of time as our next movie is.
But yes.
I mean, like the exact opposite. It's like, well, we got one movie where he could do a major thing and nothing really happens, and then we got this other one where this guy like steps on a bug and like his mother has cancer.
Yeah.
Like,
So I'm gonna point something out here, Ben. We have a perfect streak so far.
will we keep it up? Will all 6 movies get thumbs up from both of us? We'll find out right after this commercial break.
And welcome back. Are you ready for the next one?
We don't have a commercial break. Get a nice break in the show for one if we ever do get one. Okay, so are we ready for our the final film?
Yep, and it is up now.
The Butterfly Effect is a 2004 science fiction psychological thriller directed by Eric Bress and Jay Mackie Gruber? That's an interesting one. And starring Ashton Kutcher, and Amy Smart. The film takes its title from the chaos theory concept that small changes as initial conditions can lead to drastically different outcomes. It combines the elements of time travel with psychological drama and explores the consequences of altering the past. The story follows Evan Trayburn? Evan Trayburn. I know English. A college student who discovers he can travel back into his childhood memories and alter events from his past. Each attempt to fix traumatic experiences affecting himself and his friends creates unintended consequences, drastically changing the present in increasingly disturbing ways. As Evan repeatedly alters the timeline in hopes of improving the lives of those he cares about, he gradually realizes that every intervention produces new problems, forcing him to confront the limits and dangers of trying to rewrite the past. This is yours.
This is mine. Okay, bring out the coals because I need something to rake this across. All right, so there's two problems. Well, there's a few problems, but there's two glaring problems. One is the same thing we have with son-in-law. Every single person in this movie is exceptional in their role, except the main character. I think he's awful. But he did have a good part. Ashton Kutcher had a good part where it was when he was in the doctor's office and he's like explaining the whole situation that he has, and the doctor's like, "Well, yeah, you're right." I think that was so well done. But then everything else, I get that he's going to be confused as to what's going on, but he just didn't have he doesn't have the charisma
Mm.
when he comes on. And it's all stolen by all of the other characters that have to be these dynamic characters that are constantly shifting how they're doing. Like, was it Amy Smart was the lady that plays Kaylee?
Yeah.
Dude, she killed that role. She absolutely killed that. From being that sorority girl to being the crack whore, like, she did that transition so well. I mean, she was phenomenal in this. And then the other one that was great was, um, the one that gets really messed up in the head.
Oh, Tommy.
Tommy, yes, he was awesome in this as well too. Um,
The guy who played Lenny, he was like, he like that was some messed up stuff. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm jumping in.
so it's just a shame that the main character is the weakness in it. But there's another weakness is that the idea is there, but it's not the butterfly effect. I would call it the bulldozer effect because these are big changes. Like they're not like little things that change the course, and they're stupid changes. And I think it's kind of little bit of sloppy writing. I'm not going to talk about the whole read the notebook and everything shakes and stuff like this. Um, it's the fact that there's just one scene that puts how kind of bad the writing is the where they go to save the mother and the child, and he knows exactly what's in that mailbox, and he's just standing the whole time like, "Oh, look, get out of the way. Oh my gosh. Oh, it just went off." And I know they had to do that to make it such a dramatic change. But all of them are like major changes, like where he gives Tommy the axe or whatever, like cut the ropes, and Tommy kills the kid.
Oh, that was Lenny. Lenny killed
No,
Tommy.
oh, Lenny killed. No, okay, so it was Lenny was the one that was saying that was really good. Tommy was really good as well too. They're all like really good. Um, I would have liked to explore more of like they didn't kill him. He maybe went to juvie or something, and maybe something happened with a dog that they freed because that's more of a butterfly effect rather than actually freeing the dog and then completely slaughtering somebody. Um, but um, there's something else I wanted to bring up on this. Oh yes. Oh no, now it's gone. Darn it. Oh yes, yes, I got it now. This is the big thing about this movie. This movie reminds me of Perfect Blue
Mm.
because at this point, I don't know whether the ending is the ending or if he is literally just insane and he's living this whole all out himself. Like all these time changes, he's living his and the movie kind of hints to that where they're talking about, the doctor in the ward is saying, you got to stop imagining these other alternate realities, however you worded it. So there's an argument that this could just be he's not doing these changes and he's just crazy.
I think that I mean, I see where you're coming from on that. And maybe some people do feel that way. I
It's
don't.
not as strong as Perfect Blue,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
the possibility is there.
Yeah. Apart from
Um,
Perfect Blue, there's literally a scene where she wakes up and she is actually in an insane asylum. So, and then she's right back into the delusion again. So it's
and I'm sure that people are listening to this probably like, well, what's Perfect Blue? You'll find out in the future.
yes,
So,
that's a future discussion we had
so
on that.
uh, but because of that. And I think this is overall a good movie.
Yeah.
Because of that, I'm definitely giving this a thumbs up because of that question. And you can sit here and argue with somebody for who knows how long about what the true thing is. Just like the endings. This movie has 4 endings, even though 3 of the 4 are pretty much the same. And it's funny because when I saw this movie the first time, I saw the first ending. Ben has the director's cut ending, and I called him and basically said, "This isn't the ending that I remember," which is another
Me
everything.
either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the theatrical ending. If you wanna let's talk about the endings now.
Yeah.
I prefer the theatrical ending
Mhm.
because it does give everybody kind of like a happy ending and he gets to live.
Mhm.
But the movie ending, there is a line where the mother says that she already had 3 miscarriages,
Mhm.
and it gave me the idea. I literally thought of this right before we were about to go to air. 'Cause I actually watched the movie this afternoon, um, that all 3 of those miscarriages went through the same experience that he went through, and that's why they became miscarriages.
Interesting. Okay.
It's the only way to stop themselves from going through that and ruining someone's life.
I never thought of that, and that's makes the movie even more interesting now. But, and when I was watching this movie, something had actually come to mind when I was watching it this time with this ending. Before I even got to the ending, I'm like, it was funny. I was like, I wish one of these movies one time would do something like Butterfly Effect, but then the person would realize that they're the problem and they take themselves out. And that actually happened in this movie. I literally thought that while I was watching the movie. So I give the props to the really dark ending, but I do prefer the theatrical one a little bit more,
Yeah.
because I think the dark ending's a little too hard to take.
And then there's supposed to be, like, a happy ending where, I guess yeah, he has to girl out, and so it's this is a good film. I like the premise. There's parts of the movie is kinda hard to watch. It goes into a lot of things of, like, some stuff that could be triggering to some people with, child abuse. There's scenes where people are getting killed, cruelty to animals. There's a lot of stuff in here that can be red flags for people. Uh, and then the whole thing of, like, every little thing that it's like the Simpsons did an episode of, the Treehouse of Horror where they actually discuss they actually kinda, look at the same idea. I don't know if that came out it probably came out long before the Butterfly Effect. Actually, it did. It came out during the golden age of The Simpsons, where Homer goes time traveling and he, like, steps on a bug and it changed the entire future. And all of a sudden, like, donuts were rain was actually donuts and no one ever actually heard of a donut. That was it's a great episode, actually. It'd be significant that you say it. But yeah, the whole idea of, like, going back in time and is like, why would you go back and change, like, the question always comes up about killing Hitler. Well, if you go back in time, when did you go and kill Hitler as a baby? It's like, well, number 1, you're killing a baby, and if it's Hitler or not, that baby hasn't done anything yet. And number 2, what if killing Hitler led to someone even worse?
Yes.
I don't know, that's then those are the questions that come up that this is what the butterfly effect is really trying to look into premise-wise. The way it's handled, Amy Smart, you're right, she did an amazing job where she's a sorority girl, and then she's a waitress who's down on her luck, and then, she's a crack whore, and then she's happy in the last one. So, like, she plays this whole range of characters, and all of them do. Ashton Kutcher, he plays himself in everything that he's in, but I get the vibe off of him, and I get the same vibe from his wife. He's married to Mila Kunis, if you've been living under a rock. Um, and they both come off and she's a better actress than he is an actor, but they both come off as really chill people.
Mhm. Yeah.
Just from their interviews and what I know about them, they're like, if your neighbors were Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher, you would say, "Well, I got really cool neighbors."
Yeah.
So I do get that feeling from them. But yeah, it's a good movie. They came in with a sequel, which I think I have it somewhere. I think I have it on disc, and I just never put it into the into the server. And I've never seen it. I wonder if it's the same character or not, or if they just copy the premise and have new characters in it that I'd be interested to check out at some point.
Sure. It seems like it'd be something just to make a buck.
That's what I think it is.
Or
I think it's one of those things where it had nothing to do with Butterfly Effect, but they threw the name on it because it was a similar movie.
Mhm.
That happens a lot. Back when I was talking about, like, how Back to the Futures 2 and 3 feel so like, 1, 2, and 3 feel like a complete trilogy, and then I talked about movies, the sequel feels like a completely different film. I'm not saying I've seen Butterfly I have not seen Butterfly Effect 2, so I might be wrong on this, but I get the feeling that that's one of the examples I'm talking about. I'll use Cruel Intentions too, since I have seen that, as a movie that feels kinda different than the first one to the point where it feels like a completely different series of movies, even though it's the same story. Literally, same character names and everything.
Yeah. Mhm.
So yeah, you get a thumbs up from me on Butterfly Effect. So, that is a perfect score. I don't think we've had that.
I don't think we ever had a perfect score.
We've had it where we both agreed, but never where we both liked every single one. There was one where I think it was like I gave it a thumbs down on one of the movies, and all the rest of them were thumbs up, and you gave thumbs up to all of them. And then there was another time where I gave thumbs up to all of them, and you gave a thumbs down to one or two. So it's always this has never happened.
And I wanna point out it happened on daylight savings time, so I think what we need to do is just continue daylight savings.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think we should stay on daylight savings time, actually. I think we should never go back to standard time, 'cause that's what most other countries have done,
Yeah.
to get off this ridiculous thing that we started.
So there is an announcement that I do wanna make because we did have and this we kinda just we touched up on this a bit towards the beginning of the episode. We do have a change in what we're doing this month due to family incidents. Originally on the 22nd of March, our episode was going to be, what was it? Take It Not to the Ring, which were gonna be about 5 or 6, movies with wrestlers not doing wrestling in them, but because of the issues, I'm not gonna have enough time to get those down, so we're actually gonna change it. We're gonna do a kind of a versus, an interesting versus, which is going to be, reviews of the very first Lord of the Rings versus the very first Chronicles of Narnia, and what we're gonna do is we're also going to based off of just those first ones, even though, we've seen the others pretty much, based off of just watching those first ones, what our feelings would be on going forward for somebody who hasn't watched the series after watching the first, if it seems like it would be worth going on to watch the series.
It'd be kinda hard to do because of how many times I mean, the Lord of the Rings of it, like, I've seen it at least 3 times because 'cause I've seen the regular and extended edition, and I think I've seen the regular edition one more time on top of that. I know people who are like, they love the Lord of the Rings. Like, it's their Harry Potter. Because people love their Harry Potter.
Mhm.
And, so this will be interesting. This will we'll be watching these 2 movies, Chronicles of Narnia Part 1, I guess, or The Lion and the Witch and the Wardrobe, if you wanna go through the full title, and The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. Is it worth it if we were to continue on? So you're gonna watch the standard edition of the Fellowship of the Ring, and I'm gonna watch the extended edition,
Yes.
and then I'll be able to tell you some of the differences that I notice between the 2. I have them both on the magical thing of Blu-ray. I haven't bought them in 4K yet. I've been tempted. They're not cheap enough.
Mhm.
Like my 4K stuff, I counted. I have over 100 4K DVDs or Blu-rays or whatever, and I don't think I paid full price for any of them other than like 2 because they're limited editions. But other than that, 3 limited editions. So
Okay,
that's
so
what's next week.
next week is Customer Depreciation Week. We're gonna talk about wonderfully horrible experience that we've had with customer service in the past.
Yeah, we're not gonna wanna miss that, folks, so make sure you hit that subscribe button below. I'm gonna start doing more call to actions just to see if it actually works. If I notice that nobody's doing anything else, maybe I'll stop saying. But yeah, so that'll be next week, folks. And I think we're done.
Yep,
Are we done?
that's it for this episode. So we just need to get the last word up from somebody.
Um
Who gets it?